Man, this movie was bad, man. Really, really bad. So yeah, if we're starting with the comedy first, this film feels so much different from the rest. A lot of the times in this film, you'd have scenes where, when they're trying to be funny. The whole scene, it's like one of them situations where you think, okay, let's cut to the next scene now. But now, we're still on like a specific scene where they just keep making jokes that is not even funny. And you're just sitting there where you're just thinking like, oh my days, like this is actually very, very much cringe. And you have like these like new actors in this film as well, where they're kind of like the main focus, but at the same time you still have like the OG actors. You have scenes with them, you have scenes with the new characters. It's so messed up because none of them are even funny, and it's actually kind of sad to say, honestly. For me personally, I thought the first three scary movies were the best and the funniest in my opinion. After that, I just kind of just didn't care for it. But in this film, it's just like even the Wayne brothers weren't really funny, especially the actor that plays Ray. I can't remember I know he's a Wayne brother. I can't remember his actual name though, but he wasn't even really funny. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like what is going on? And it's just the fact that I feel like the dragged out scenes wasn't really helping it as well, and that's what made it even worse. It's almost like them situations where you have a guy in real life that tells a joke, but they take so long to tell the joke to the point where once you get to the final punchline, it's just like you're just sitting there thinking like, the only funny person in this film for me was probably what's his name again, Shorty. At times Shorty was kind of funny, like he was kind of like, he made me giggle here and there, but overall, man, the jokes were not landing for me. It really was not landing for me, which is a shame to say because I thought the Wayne brothers were the primary like reasons as to why I like the scary movie like franchise, because they were just so hilarious, because they had a lot of control in the first and second movie. I think they were like directors or writers in the movie. I thought their ideas, their jokes really landed in those movies, but I don't know what the hell happened in this movie, honestly. I'm honestly convinced that they had less control in this film. I really I have to be. There's no way. In my head, I'm thinking, no way they had full control of this movie, because it just was abysmal or barbaric how bad this movie was. I can't tell if it was because the new actors also were really bad. Sometimes when you have such a bad movie, it's hard to tell if like, is it the actor's fault or if it's just the writing. Sometimes it can be both, sometimes it can be one of the two. Honestly, I feel like it was a bit of both, because the way the actors were, like the new actors at least I'm talking about, the way they were acting in it as well, it's just like, oh my god, this is cringe, fam. Like this is actually so like there were so many times I had my face, like my hand over my face, and I was just like, what the hell is this? Like honestly, like who created this abomination? Because that's what it is, man. One of the negatives also is the fact that the gap between Scary Movie 5 and between this movie, it felt like they were trying to cram in all the, I guess, things that have happened in the world, to where it was like they were more sort of focusing on delivering those like problems in society rather than actually landing a joke. So it's kind of like, for example, it's like, oh, we got to add Black Lives Matter, we have to add the whole masculinity stuff, we have to add the whole all these other things, and it's just like, are you trying to make a film, or are you trying to make some sort of, I don't know, some next up calling card to where it's just like, we need to make sure everyone's aware of this, we need to make sure that this is the problem with society and this is why it's not the problem with society. The lines they were delivering was like, okay, we need to make sure we deliver that line, this line, we need to mention this, we need to mention that. I'm trying to watch a movie that's trying to take me out of the world that's, the sort of world we live in. I'm not trying to be reminded of why I hate this world, you know what I mean? Why are you desperately so badly trying to cram in all these things? And it's just not even funny as well. None of it was funny. I don't understand, fam. The old scary movies, at least the ones that I thought were good, like the first three, they never done this. Like, yeah, they obviously it's a parody. These franchises are parody. They mention things that's going on in the world. In this film, they were just cramming everything in. This ain't a scary movie film. It was some next up calling card to where they had to make sure they ticked all the boxes. And when I say tick all the boxes, I'm not talking about having all these like people included. I'm talking about ticking boxes as in having to mention all these stupid ass things I don't care about that's going on in the world. That's not even funny and not even landing. This is like a Wikipedia of all the things that's happening in the world. Like if you wanna know what's been going on in the world for the past, I don't know, however many years Scary Movie 5 came out up to now, then let's watch this movie, because it gives you everything and it's not even funny. And then you also have certain cameos to where, I'll be honest with you, I was kind of rolling my eyes. I mean, but I kind of knew this before I even saw the movie because I saw the trailer. A big cameo in this film was Kai Cenat. When I saw him in the trailer, I'll be honest with you, I kind of just like, oh, here we go, here we go. Because I'll be honest, I don't have an issue with Kai Cenat. I don't have an issue with him like in particular, but it's just like people on that, what do you call it? The people on that niche or whatever streaming culture, it's like it's cringe to me. Whenever I saw him on screen, I was just like, oh gosh, like this is This is not looking good, man. Again, there were scenes that made me giggle, especially with Ghostface. There were scenes with Ghostface, that made me giggle, and I thought it was kind of funny. But that's very a small percentage, because it's at the same time, whilst I was also laughing, I was mainly cringing more so at the same time. I just felt the cameos wasn't working for me. It just didn't really do anything for me. And my gosh, the opening scene was abysmal. I don't know who that actress was at the start. I don't know who she was. Take her out of the movie, put her in another movie. It felt like she was in like a different movie when she was acting. It felt like she was in the wrong movie, literally wrong set. She was not funny. Maybe this is like a April Fool's joke that they, whatever, man. It just reminded me how much I wanted to rewatch the old ones, and that they knew how good those ones were, because in this movie there were so many rehashed scenes from like the first one, to where they were just copying the same jokes from the first one. Like, if you're just gonna even do that, why even bother making this one then? Because it's not really his own original idea then. The pacing suffered tremendously. Oh my days, I was so bored. I feel like this movie will just not end, because like I said, the scenes will just drag on. It wouldn't cut to the next scene. We're still on this one particular scene. We're still on this scene. So it just made the pacing suffer. So I'm just like, please just end already, please. This is probably honestly one of the worst films I've seen this year, easily. This ain't no film, man. This ain't no film. This is a news outlet. That's what it is. It was a news outlet. If we're talking about like the movie itself, how it looks visually, it very is much a well-made shot movie. It looks very clean. You know what I mean? It looks very nice and appealing to look at. At the production level, the camera work was all good. Visually, it looked like nice to look at. That's like the only pretty much positive I can mention about this film. This was basically if TikTok made a movie. This is what it is. You're having these like scenes where you have these like TikTok type of music, stupid dialogue, terrible pacing, terrible actors in this film. It was torture. So yeah. Yay. But anyways, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, comment down below, let me know what you thought about this movie, if you hated it or if you loved it. And if you loved it, honestly, please tell me, because I would like to know, because I'd be surprised in a bit.